this is Angela with the Leadership Coach Group, and it is my pleasure to introduce to you one of our coaches, Jenn Bieri. Jenn, it's great to be with you today.
Yeah, it's so great to be with you too, Angela. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, I would love to learn more about you and help all of our potential clients to know more about you. Can you help tell me about your coaching style?
Yeah, so my coaching style is pretty dynamic. I'd say I'm very warm and very playful. And so I'm very adaptable. So it really depends who my client is. And so I'm trained as a coactive coach, so I try to do it coactively, which means that we're kind of partnering and designing everything together as we go. But especially because the work that we do is so focused on the inwards and it can be kind of heavy sometimes or tough. I do try to keep it really light and fun and playful so that it just makes it more fun.
That funness comes across with your smile and your enthusiasm. It's very noticeable in your personality. Tell me about your favorite coaching tools and techniques. I know you said you were trained in coactively coaching. What
Yeah.
other tools and techniques do you use?
Yeah. So you know what? Tools and techniques, I tend to be a little bit more, what do you want to call it, like softer on. Like I'm not the coach that is coming with these big frameworks and these documents and you got to fill all this stuff out. So a lot of my tools and techniques are like soft stuff, like silence, embodiment, asking really powerful questions, and just really about, yeah, I would say like probably my most powerful technique is kind of what we touched on before, which is just creating, for me, it's really about creating that environment with the client. So, how are we holding a space for them in a way that just allows them to sort of like take off their masks, really show up, and really bring out the best in them?
And when you think about your bringing out the best in them and helping with things that they're bringing to you, what opportunities or challenges do you enjoy helping with the most, or that are just like your perfect client to help with?
Yeah, so I love helping super highly ambitious clients. So leaders, like they can be kind of like that senior leader. They might be that sort of like earlier executive. And the opportunity or the growth is like sometimes that ambition really gets in the way. And so that ambition becomes anxiety, it becomes fear, it becomes chronic stress, maybe burnout. And sometimes it impacts all the other things in our life, like health and fulfillment and, you know, things like other things that are really important. And so my favorite things are helping my clients to kind of figure out how to channel that ambition, but in a really like healthy, sustainable, empowered way.
That's awesome. I see that being something that a lot of really ambitious people would struggle with. And for you to help them get them over that would take them to the next level. Tell me a little bit about your background before you became a coach and what inspired you to become a coach.
Yeah, so I started my career as a CPA, so an accountant in public accounting as an auditor, and scroll forward, and I found myself in tech. And actually, what I should say before that is I was that very ambitious person that I didn't help my clients with, and so I was really raising on that corporate ladder. So, I was getting promoted every 6 months to 2 years, like just really pushing that level and that ceiling. And so eventually I found myself in tech and it was amazing. It was a startup, it was a global IT consulting company. It was like being on a rocket ship where we basically scaled this company from 40 people to 400, and it was amazing. And then it sold a few years ago for about 50 million. And I decided to pursue my own thing. But kind of in that, I also realized that I completely burnt out. And so, how I found coaching is, so when I had left, basically, I started building my own business, which was doing like teaching yoga. I was really focused on wellness. And then I think about a year into it, it was like, I love this, and I'm not getting the intellectual stimulation that I needed because I love those like very ambitious environments. I love that high pressure. I love developing people, and I just like love being around those people. And so I found coaching because it felt like it finally brought all these different worlds that I was in together.
That makes complete sense. You're focused on the well-being, the being able to grow, being able to be your healthiest best self whenever you're
Yeah,
helping others as a coach.
totally.
Well, I know that yoga must be a passion or a hobby for you then. So, what
Totally
other
is.
hobbies or passions do you have outside of coaching and ambition in your career?
Yeah. So, oh my goodness, what else? So one of the things actually that I've been playing around with is being an accountant. It's a strange thing because they train you so hard on the logical side that I feel like it stomps out all of your creativity. And so, actually, one of the things, I'm going to grab this little painting over here. One of the things I've started doing is painting. So this is my 2025 word for the year, which is joy. And it's probably the painting I'm like most proud of because I think it looks really cool. And so this is one of the things that I've been toying around with is just, developing my creativity, like doing things just because I want to. And in terms of like professional growth, oh my gosh, I'm like the biggest nerd. So it's there's always something that I'm learning. I honestly at this point I think it's a little bit more of an addiction than anything. But I just finished the Dare to Lead training based on Brené Brown in January. I'm also doing positive intelligence right now. And I'm actually doing a certification later in March on group coaching, just to get a little bit better doing that stuff. And so I've always got my pulse on something that I want to be learning and developing and continuing to just like master my own craft as a coach.
I can tell that you are definitely a continuous learner and passionate about that and sharing it with other people. I love your sign behind you, Dream Big.
Oh,
And
yeah, thanks.
very fitting. And so was your joy painting that you did. Very fitting for your personality and for everything else that you have shared with me today. What else should clients know whenever they are deciding if you're the right coach for them?
Yeah, I think it's that, I'm the kind of coach that like I have such a wide toolkit. And so if they're looking for someone that just, a lot of my clients love to experiment. And part of it is they don't always know where to look. And so they look at me as like, I don't know, like scientist. Maybe the scientist isn't the best metaphor for that one. But like, the person that's kind of like collating all these different tools to really support them. And so, most of my clients, especially the ones that are the most successful, tend to just be very open-minded. They tend to be very curious. They tend to just like want to find new and different ways to do things, but also to make sure that those things are really lining up with them. And so, yeah, I think that's really important to know. What else should they know? Um, yeah, I don't know. I think that might be it.
Well, thank you for sharing today, and your energy comes through. I know that all of your clients will see that whenever they are working with you to feel that energy whenever they have meetings with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Angela, and thanks for doing this interview.
Thanks.